Thank you for watching Scary Bear Attacks. If you like this episode, please remember to hit the like button and leave a comment or two, then subscribe and click on the bell to receive notifications of whenever we release new videos. Also, please remember to share them to your social media.
Welcome back to Scary Bear Attacks. Today's episode takes us to Rocky View County in southeastern Alberta, Canada. Just north of the intersection of Range Road 34 and Township Road 274 is a stretch of open undeveloped land with scattered farm plots growing soybeans or wheat. There are very few, if any, trees here, and what isn't farmed is left in brushy grass and otherwise unoccupied land. There are a few little towns scattered across this part of the province, but there's a lot more of nothing. The elevation here is 2,454 feet above sea level, and the climate is an arid continental climate, with very cold and long winters and brief hot summers. There isn't much to talk about regarding plant life here, other than grasses and other brushy short plants. The animals are a different matter, with white-tailed deer, mule deer, elk, and moose calling this area home. Predators that patrol the prairies include bobcats, coyotes, cougars, lynx, and grizzly bears. This area may not seem like prime bear country, and that is because it isn't. There hasn't been a grizzly bear spotted here in years, according to the government sites. They rely on landowners to report the presence of animals by calling into a tip line or reporting it on their website. Just because there haven't been grizzly bears reported as being seen here certainly doesn't mean they aren't here. Now, the province of Alberta has had hundreds of reports of bear sightings, but nearly all of them have been over 75 miles to the west of Rocky View Canyon. I've reported on attacks around Sundre and Water Valley a few times, but this county is nearly uninhabited by anyone but farmers, and grizzlies simply aren't a problem. They weren't even known to be here until recently. A little after 10 a.m. on Sunday, September 1st, 2024, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police received an emergency call from a man. He claimed to have been attacked by a grizzly as the dispatchers gathered his location. Officers from the RCMP, Alberta Fish and Wildlife, and emergency medical responders rushed to the remote location, and what they found was beyond belief. In the sandy soil around an injured man were the tracks of a large sow grizzly, as well as her two cubs. The tracks led off into the distance, indicating the matter of hand was to render medical aid to the victim. For the sake of this episode, we'll call him Keith. Upon examination of Keith's wounds, medical responders recognized that his injuries could be life-threatening. They had no time to waste as they worked hard to slow the bleeding of his wounds, and they loaded him for transportation to the hospital. Keith was rushed to Foothills Hospital in Calgary, about 170 miles away. After close examination, he was found to be suffering from multiple traumatic injuries, but the precise locations on his body were not released. As for the grizzly sow and her cubs, there is a conversation going on surrounding how to handle her attack on Keith. Many wildlife officers were surprised to learn there were any grizzly bears in the county, let alone a sow with cubs. Speaking of cubs, our Cub Cheer membership on Patreon, linked below, will give you ad-free early access to our episodes. And the $3 per month goes a long way in helping me continue to produce educational and entertaining content like this. Where there is a sow, there is bound to be a boar, and that means the bears around Rocky View County have somehow remained hidden from detection by farmers and wildlife officers alike. Although no one else was injured in this attack, locals who learned of it were stricken with concern of having learned the grizzlies have made it all the way to their county from the eastern slope of the Rocky Mountains. The sow and cubs remain on the loose despite efforts to locate them. I could find no information in the sources on this attack regarding the activities Keith was participating in while at this remote location. It wasn't indicated whether he carried bear spray or a firearm with him, but given there were no previous sightings of grizzly bears here, it would be easy to understand why they were not brought along. Given the paucity of bear reports in Rocky View County and the lack of what people would consider ideal bear habitat, it isn't far-fetched you would not expect to see a grizzly bear. The government bear sightings reports all indicate there are many bears in the southwest portion of the province, but give no warning about them being in the southeastern prairie in Rocky View County. After reviewing the facts surrounding this episode, I'm left with a few questions for you. Do you have a barren chunk of land near you that you think cannot support a bear? Are you surprised that grizzly bears actually thrive in the prairie? How would you feel watching a massive grizzly bear storming across the prairie to attack you? The worst part is, you'd have nowhere to hide. I'll gladly read and reply to your thoughts, so please post them in the comments section below, and let's talk about it.
Thank you for watching Scary Bear Attacks. If you've enjoyed this episode, please consider clicking on the like button and clicking on the bell icon. We'll help you know when we post our new episodes. Posting our video links to your social media profiles furthers awareness, and it's fun. We've slashed our prices in our merch store, linked below, so check out the bargains there while you shop. As a member of our human community, remember to adventure bravely and be careful out there, especially in bear country.